Radio. We're getting ready for our next program inside the Outwork Network, and it's called Policing with You. Sajid Odein is already in the studio, and just a reminder, the lines will be open after her opening remarks and introduction of her guests. And the number to call that time will be 465-2555, 718-577-2916. And we also have a cell phone number added to the old list, which is 662-8674. It's now time for Policing with You.
Pleasant good morning to everyone and welcome back to Policing with You. I am your host, Shamin Odein. With me this morning I have Officer Tittle. We are going to basically educate and engage each other on the children loitering on the street. We know that the police are doing various things to try and diffuse the crime that is escalating in our communities and causing this surge. We have to start somewhere, and we are starting with the children loitering on the street. Many persons have spoken about it, so the police is taking action. So I have Officer Tittle. He's from the Special Victims Unit. The Special Victims Unit deals with various offenses. He's going to tell us a bit about it. He's going to tell us about the responsibilities that Special Victims Unit holds. They were dealing with child on a holistic effort a couple of years ago, so they are well knowledgeable of how we can move forward in getting this part of the law when it comes to children engaged in a positive light. Officer Tittle, introduce yourself and explain briefly on your responsibilities at SVU and what is the role of SVU.
Thank you, Sergeant Odein, and good morning to the listening audience. It's a pleasure to be here this morning to share information with you that could prove to be valuable, not just for your families, but also for your friends and other persons you're associated with. The Special Victims Unit Department, as the Sergeant would have listed initially, is specifically responsible and created to combat offenses of a sexual, domestic, and that include juveniles as well. And we would have been introduced in 2012, and that was to ensure that we provide support not just for the victims, but also to ensure that the perpetrators are held accountable for the offenses.
Thank you so much, Officer Tittle. How does the Special Victim Unit specialize in handling cases involving juveniles, both as victims and as offenders?
That's a great question. Specifically, as the offenders, we often try to see persons who prefer to label them as troublemakers, etc. But oftentimes, these children are dealing with a lot of internal dialogue that's happening, a lot of trauma. And so when they come in as offenders, we look at how can we assist them to make a turn. So with doing that, we interact with the probation unit, child services and protection. We also have the Child Justice Committee that are there to lobby on behalf of the troubled children and to assist them in terms of diversion programs so that they could make a turnaround. And we're really committed to ensuring that we offer the best possible support to them as offenders and also as victims to ensure that they are exposed to counseling sessions to deal with whatever trauma they would have experienced in terms of whatever other aspects that they're struggling with in terms of family and homes, to see how best we could address some of those issues, because it's always going to be a collective effort to assist our youth in making a turnaround.
Yes, that is definitely true. Thank you so much for that. We're going to dive right into the law regarding the juvenile and the curfew. What does the law in St. Kitts and Nevis says about children loitering on the street after 10 o'clock without an adult supervision?
Well, according to the Criminal Law Amendment Act, that's Section 15, it states that when children under the age of 16 are seen loitering or wandering around the streets after 10 p.m., that the police or a constable can intervene, escort that child to the nearest police station, ensure that they reach out to a parent or guardian to find out why the child is out at that point in time, because oftentimes they can be exposed to a lot of criminal elements that they may not have previously known that are there.
Thank you so much. And the law is clear when it comes to that. Are there any specific group or targeted age for this curfew under the law?
Well, according to the law, we're specifically targeting those under the age of 16. However, we have to use caution as well with persons 17 and 18 as well, because they are also at risk. And so, though the law speaks specifically to those under the age of 16, we still pay special attention to those 17 and 18 as well, just to make sure that they're safe and not being exposed to negative works out in the streets.
Thank you so much for that. And I want to thank you for that, because even if you, during the daytime, when you see them grouping on the streets, the police are not just supposed to pass them, you're supposed to engage them and find out why they're there, what are they doing, and stuff like that. So I want to compliment that by saying the police should also engage them during the patrol, see them group up, see them in at-risk areas, and find out why they're there and dismantle that grouping if needs be. Enforcement and expectation. How does the police enforce these curfew laws, and what actions are they taking if a juvenile is found loitering after the set curfew?
Okay. Well, usually that's one of the reasons that you would observe that during certain hours that you would see a higher presence of police patrolling certain areas. And one of these things that they're looking for are for persons who could potentially be persons who are looking to commit crime. 2, persons who may be at risk to have crimes committed against them.
Right.
And so one of the things that the officers would do in these instances is to stop and interact with the individuals, ascertain who they are, and once we find out that those persons are under the age of 16, you then want to find out, okay, then why are you outside on the streets at this specific time? They could give a valuable reason as to, okay, maybe I'm coming from a family function or something of that sort. Then there's a saying within the organization: trust but verify. Mm-hmm. It's all good and fine to say they give you a reason, but confirming that information is of maximum importance. So once we get to that point and maybe there's not a valid reason given, that child would be taken to the nearest police station, where they would be asked for a contact number for a parent or guardian, and they would be contacted to come for the child. Or in a case where we're not able to get a parent or guardian, the probation unit often gets involved so that they could come and provide some sort of support to the child as well.
Thank you so much for that. I was going to ask, how do you enforce these curfews? And you explained that very well. I want to thank you for that. Are these expectations to the rule? I heard you mention a family function and stuff like that, and I'm glad that you went along and saying verify. The officer should verify that the truthfulness of what the child is saying is true. Community impact and safety concerns. What are the primary concerns or danger for the juvenile who are out on the street late at night? You mentioned it, so I want you to go back over it more detail, because the persons need to hear. Because I know once police try to do something, persons always come with a backlash, and we want to make sure that the public is educated and we have their full support going forward, especially the parents.
Okay. Thank you so much for that question. The youth are exposed to a lot of risk when they're out there at beyond 10 p.m. Not just even 10 p.m., sometimes even before that. A lot of people see somebody young and vulnerable and they think, this is my opportunity to take advantage of this person. This could end up becoming a physical assault or sexual assault, which oftentimes does happen to a lot of these juveniles. And this is not just limited to female persons. They're also attacking males as well. And so you cannot just say it's okay for a male to be out at that time, be a boy and so forth. That is no longer the case. The MO of persons have completely changed from what it used to be. Oftentimes they could also meet to the wrong group of people, and I think this is where a lot of criminal elements continue to become a bit more organized. They target young people, they recruit them into their gangs, whatever it may be, and they then make these persons menaces to society, which is one of the things that we're trying to prevent, to ensure that the youths are more engaged with positive activities like joining maybe a football club or being part of the national intervention groups.
Definitely.
And there's just so much out there that the youths can be positively engaged with, and we're trying to ensure that no crime is committed against them or they're not recruited into committing crimes themselves.
Thank you so much, Officer Tito. You said it. Because sometimes we feel as if, let the young ladies stay home, let the girls stay home, but we let the boys on the road. And you said it, crimes are being committed and they're being recruited into these crimes. How does enforcing these curfew laws help in reducing, do you think it will help reducing the juvenile crime and protecting youths in our community?
Definitely, it certainly will curb a lot of the youth offenses that we see happening in today's society. Specifically because by providing a curfew, you then limit the amount of these juveniles that are allowed to be out at a certain time. So they're less exposed to persons who are looking to recruit, they're less exposed to persons who are looking to commit crime against vulnerable groups, and they're more likely to spend more time engaging with their families, which is one of the things that we really want to see more of, as opposed to the families crying because their children have been assaulted or in some way or the other. And if we look at that incident in Antigua recently, where a 16-year-old would have been found dead, like that is a cry across the region for all of us. Not just as parents, but as different stakeholder groups. We all want to safeguard our children, and we want to ensure that they have the best possible chance of being as productive as possible and to live a fruitful life.
We see the domino effect around the region, Trinidad. We're seeing it, the children at tender age are brutally murdered. So yes, support and resources for the juvenile. We speak a lot. We say a lot. What kind of support does SVU provide? Maybe not SVU themselves, but I always believe in networking. What support SVU provides for youths found violating the curfew, and are there counseling or educating programs available? I know there's a lot because it just we just started to clamp down. It has always been in the law. It has always been in the law since 1976. That's the year I was born, so it was over 40 plus, 40 plus years. So, I want to know, you might not have all the answers today, because I know as the brain starts to think, people are trying to strategize accordingly, and in order to be supportive of this act going forward, because we see the necessary need for it. So what kind of support is there now, presently? What type of support is there?
Okay. Well, there's a lot of different support mechanisms in place, not just from the special victims area, but also from the other social stakeholder groups. Specifically from the SVU department, we do referrals to counseling. That is usually done by the counseling unit. There's a referral for educational programs so that they could become more aware of how them violating curfews affects them, their community. And also what is important to note is that one member should not be seen as just that's the problem. The family is a unit, and we can all support each other and ensure that the children are better provided for, better looked after. There's diversion programs by the department? The Child Justice Committee, and I think those come in very handy in terms of anger management classes, because oftentimes these juveniles, they don't want to be out on the streets, but it's a case where they may not feel comfortable at home. They may be fighting a lot of demons just like us adults, And being able to address some of those issues could help them to feel a bit more safe, a bit more seen, and also to understand that they are cared for. So I think some of those programs have definitely proved to be very useful, and we will continue to refer the juveniles to those programs so that they could get the best possible assistance and support.
Some persons might say you use the hash with the demons, but they're fighting different and trying to find their identity, trying to fight different things because they're going to peer pressure, things that we don't know, silent battles. Definitely. We're going to break now and we're going to pay some bills, and callers, viewing audience, if you wish to call in after the break, you can. We are here we might not have all the answers, but we'll surely see how best we can answer you. GQ?
Are you tired of Wi-Fi dead zones in your home? The Cable has the ultimate solution with our whole home Wi-Fi coverage. Say goodbye to frustrating signal drops and hello to seamless connectivity in every corner of your home. No more
Mom, my tablet's not working in my bedroom. My game is freezing, Daddy.
or WhatsApp calls dropping as you walk around the house. So many people struggle with dead zones and restricted Wi-Fi, and the Cable has the answer. Enjoy full blanket increased Wi-Fi coverage with installation in 48 hours or less. Whole home Wi-Fi coverage is here. Get the whole family connected today. Come in or call the Cable at 465-2588 to get your whole home Wi-Fi boost installed. The Cable, always giving you more. Terms and conditions apply.
The specials at Domino's are hot, hot, hot for any occasion. Hot right out of the oven. 1 medium, 2 topping pizza, and 2 20-ounce Cokes, only $35. Free Coke with your lunch until 2 p.m. Small, 1 topping school child lunch special, only $14. 2 medium, 2 topping pizzas, and a 2-liter soda, only $69. 2 large, 2 topping pizzas, and a 2-liter soda, only $92. Oh, and the big one, baby. Free large pizza every Tuesday with your favorite 2 for Tuesday special. So, come on down or call and order now and experience our tasty oven-baked goodness. Domino's, the home of satisfaction.
Hot and wild, call Domino's now.
Good morning once again to everyone, and welcome back to Policing with You. I am your host, Shamin. With us in the studio, I have Officer Tittle from the Special Victims Unit. We have been engaging in healthy conversation when it comes to the children loitering on the street, and we are here. If you have any questions, you can call in. The lines are open now. We have a call. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. You're on the air.
Hello? TQ?
Hey, Jam Dung, you can't hear?
Yes, good morning. And good morning to the good policeman, them, see?
Good morning.
Let me show you all something. That 10 o'clock thing, I still a cater for big people. 9 o'clock, these children must be off the road. And that young police there, tickle and tickle. You all need to be on the road at night time. And the office thing, because Mr. Butcher was around, it couldn't be like this. We don't want to talk. This thing getting out of hand, this hunting and shooting on people like that in Sinkers. You never see that. You never see that from a boy yet. We do all kind of badness, see all kind of badness around here. But not brutalizing one another so with gun. We don't want that in Sinkers. And you all got to get yourself in order. Because the problem lies in there, you know. Because I got the machine to do things. Appealing to people and the peer of them in Sinkers and Nevis. Leave the enforcement, let her do the job. Our children like so. The little kids got it so. And we're going to tolerate it. I is a console sitter, so I'm born here. We're going to tell you going nowhere else, you know. Right here. I am dead and go off the cemetery. Pretty flowers and board box. We are appealing to the commissioner of police. And the national security leave the commissioner of police where he work. How far I down there never go in a school up in the training school yet. Some of you draft from the defense force 4 times. Maybe he do crash course and so. Never back here. Let the policeman, let the commissioner of police do his work. The next thing I want to talk about, Shano, is don't present at night with young boys and girls drinking top shelf gin. And police around and they're doing nothing. They're pulling them out the crowd and asking a question. You know about these things around here with this? You know about this thing in Everhandy? As I hear Shano, I don't want to forget to big up my good friend, Ian Queenie, to bring in such a shock to the Federation. When he come to me with it, I endorse it to tell him that's the way to go. You must know what's going on in the communities then. Because it's too long. We left the communities then just unaccounted to. I want to add here to Dwyer yesterday. Dwyer is right. The parents them should be locked up with all these children. Go to them. When you hold them on the road and they're doing certain things, tell them on the station and charge the parents. I'm calling on God. I'm calling on my good friend God. You are calling the parents out there. They're seeing the children them in the damn nonsense. Bringing in stuff in the place and then saying nothing and doing nothing. And still like causing us pretty flowers and boardwalks. They don't reach the water loop. They have to reach the water loop with them parents. Me could have come in Miss Mother's house with hoodie. The next thing, from 6 o'clock, no young boy should be around town in no hoodie. And if it happens, I'm all the time. Have a good day, Sean. I will be back. The only land culture, the only two opposition in this country, and we're going to get up. We born here. Have a good day, Sean. I will be back.
Thank you, Carla. Thank you so much for that. Yes, I believe that even though the curfew says it's 10 o'clock by law, the parents have a responsibility also to give these children a curfew. Do you get any more calls? Not at the moment. Okay. Tittle, I'm still at you. Is there any successful story that you can share where intervention by the SVU helped at-risk children turn around their life? I'm sure you have so many, so if you can just choose 1 or 2.
Well, there are definitely a lot of success stories that span across members who have had a lot more experience than I do. We have seen persons who had a lot of run-ins with the law, you know, from the time they were 10 up until they're still adults. And then we see that, you know, the effects of, you know, ensure that they have counseling and they're able to address some of the issues that they were dealing with. We would have seen a lot of these persons now as very responsible adults who are working within the government sector or the private sector, and they've completely turned their lives around. You would not be able to recognize that this person was constantly in and out of the police station. And so we want to let everybody know, including the parents, that your child is not beyond saving. Do not give up on your child. Pull on the resources within your family and support the child as much as you can. If you need to pull on the resources of the police and other social groups, please reach out to us.
Thank you so much. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, quickly, Shano. I forget this one because see it happening around town.
Go ahead, sir.
We want to tell the commissioner to please to talk to all these men who got these new vehicles where the government budget them to protect we and protect we country. Stop using air condition and turn on the blast to see where the business coming from. The security in the country has to be beef up. This ain't catapult. This is gun shooting people, and the detection is not there. You all have to do better than that. All these young boys are driving their vehicles and feel when they start to walk. When they leave the guard room, there must be air condition around town. We don't want that. I put a lot in the social security and my money I buy these vehicles too, so me don't talk. What's awful born here? Charlotte,
Yes.
they're gonna come better than that, and we asking the commissioner of police to do these things. People is talking. The Court of Conscience, we finished a session last night almost after 2. Right in the focus. Have a good day again, Shano.
Thank you.
Animal culture, the only poor position in this country.
Thank you so much, caller. We have a next. Okay. Thank you so much, caller. I will take back your recommendation to the commissioner. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Parental responsibility and involvement. Because as much as we want to do and we want to assist, we must get the parents' responsibility, know their responsibility, and have the involvement in order to mold. And you said it so many times. As I ask the questions, you pull that out. So what are the legal responsibility of parents or guardians when it comes to ensuring their children adhere to these curfew?
Well, now that the information is out there and persons are becoming more aware of the legislation that is in place, the parent has a responsibility to ensure that their child is in the house by a specific time to ensure that they are not in violation of the regulation. Now, there is also part of the regulation that speaks to once the child has become a repeat offender, the parent can then be fined up to $500. And I think it's something that shouldn't even be a hard and fast issue. It is something that we could easily address by working together as different stakeholder groups to ensure that the child is safely tucked away in his or her bed, comfortable, sleeping, and safe. And I think that is what we all want at the end of the day.
Okay, the question is for me, how do we work towards that with families who prevent juvenile from becoming repeat offenders?
First, we have to look at the core issues. Why is the person, infringing on certain legislative pieces? Why are they always out at a certain time? And I think once we address some of these core issues, we'll see a reduction in juveniles committing these offenses. And I really think it's a pretty simple issue. And if we continue to collaborate as a whole, we will definitely have this issue resolved in no time.
Thank you so much for that. That is important because I'm going to pause here. Caller, we have a call. Call you on the air.
Yeah. Good morning, officer.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning, GQ.
Good morning, Culture.
Okay. You hear me for a long time now because I get fed up. We're doing too much of talking in St. Kitts and not enough action. Well, Miss Police,
So?
I know you are not the commissioner of police. You are not in charge of the police force. But I am saying this. There are too many scarcity of police patrolling on foot in a lot of the community them. Too many of that. I know once ago, when we only had a little bit of police, every night in the village, he had a police from Barbados named Spooners. When 9 o'clock and you hear the 2 factory hands start, you better be in your mother's yard. Because as long as you go in school, you got to be off the road 9 o'clock. Not now these days. Children, just 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and all that kind of thing, they're on the road up to 12 o'clock. Well, parents supposed to make sure that all is in the house before they hook the door and go sleep. And if they're not in there, be on the alert for when they come and let them know they're not supposed to be out after certain hours. But the police around here now, they are very scarce because one man got all like 20-something police around here for what? Why he be gold? That he afraid people thief him? Spread out the police them, let the patrol, that's their job. Mr. Bradshaw never used to got no police around him, guarding him. Mr. Bradshaw, as bad as people say Mr. Bradshaw was, he was good. He used to drive his own Jeep himself. Late at night, I used to see him up the village by his friend there, sitting down. No police out there guarding. The only thing he had a police for was to take his daughter to school and go for his wife. bring on a job and carry back home. You are the street, why one man wants so much of police and so much of wrong things going on all around the Sinkets and no police there to police the children them. That's why they're doing all this nonsense in this place. And talking ain't gonna do it. It takes action. Unless people don't act, the perpetrators them they're getting more mileage to do the foolishness. So Mr. Commissioner of Police, whosoever you may be, listen to we on the street. We on the street, we got the ears to the ground. We don't have to go college to tell people how to correct wrong and stop it. A lot of these people here influence these younger youths on the street at night to do foolishness when they could be doing something positive. And when they put them in the bit among those criminals and murderers, they teach them how to do what they did. So we call in on you again, once and for all. And after this, I'm done with it. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, caller, for those recommendations. We have another call. Caller, you're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, listen now, with the children's story, but we got a problem there with the parents, them, right? When I was growing up, people are going to say different now and change things, but it's the people them in the world with the change things.